Here's a quiz for you heterosexual women. If you had to choose, would you rather be with a man who has a higher status job than you or lower status? More money than you or less? More knowledgeable or educated than you or less? Older and more experienced or younger and less experienced? Taller or shorter? Stronger or weaker? And for you men, same questions. How would you feel about being with a woman who has a higher status job than you? More money, more knowledge and education, older and more experienced, taller, stronger? You can see where I'm going with this. In ye olden times, women were the weaker sex, and they wanted the man to have more power in the relationship, like a father figure. But of course this crashes head-on with our modern ideas of equality. Now, in fairness, traditionally women were supposed to be stronger in certain areas, like nurturing, interpersonal and social skills, and aesthetics, like decorating a house. But you still know who was the head of the household. So if you find yourself feeling conflicted about your own answers, you're not alone. In a previous video, I talked about how our childhood puts us in a time warp. All our emotional feelings of what we think a relationship should look like were shaped by the stories we saw and heard and read when we were children and teenagers. But once those emotional expectations were formed, they don't usually change much over time, even as the logical parts of our minds continue to learn and grow and change. So this can leave us rationally wanting a modern relationship, but emotionally desiring a traditional relationship, at least in part. If you want this video to be an advice column, then I guess the advice is, if you're still single and dating, review that quiz to see which ones you'd be willing to compromise on. Oh, and by the way, those traditional stories are still going on. How many movies can you think of where in a couple the woman has the higher status job and more money and more education and is more experienced? Currently as a society, even if you're all for gender equality, we're kind of like cats. We want to be inside and outside at the same time.